happens when you combine giant robots, emotional depth, and a futuristic dystopian militaristic setting. You get every single mecha anime ever made, but within that genre, two of my favorites, and that are very personal to me, are Neon Genesis Evangelion and Zone of the Enders. But while they do share some similarities, aka kids, friends getting killed, so goes into a mech and fights people while talking philosophically, their unique approaches to storytelling and identity make them stand apart. We're going to explore a little bit of the shared DNA of these two masterpieces, compare their themes, and break down what sets them apart in the realm of science fiction, anime, and mecha. Neon Genesis Evangelion arrived on Japanese TV sets in 1995 under the truly visionary direction of Hideaki Anno, who sought to challenge and deconstruct the traditional mecha genre. With its deep introspective characters and existential and philosophical themes, Evangelion became a cultural powerhouse, even to this day, if not even more so, really redefining anime forever. In 2001, Hideo Kojima, already famous for his work with the Metal Gear franchise, was producing a game called Zone of the Enders. Though not a direct parallel to EVA, Zoe delves into complex themes of responsibility, war, and humanity's reliance on technology. Both creators infused their works with deeper, philosophical, and emotional layers, which really elevated them beyond simple stories of robots and warfare. Both Eva and Zoe excel in world building, but they approach it with starkly different perspectives. In Eva, the world is suffocating, set in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo 3, ravaged by angel attacks. The city is militarized, and hope seems scarce in an ever-looming threat of the end. The design of the Evas and angels reflects this darker tone. Organic, grotesque, and almost alien. The angels in the series, and really the whole lore of this universe, is inspired by Judeo-Christian names like Samshel, Sashiel, and others are rooted in these sources, including the Book of Enoch and the Dead Sea Scrolls. The concept of falling angels who rebelled against God and were cast to earth is central to the Book of Enoch, and is reflected in Evangelion, where the angels are depicted as hostile and destructive, while the Sealy organization is inspired by the Dead Sea Scrolls. Of course, it's also possible that Anno included this just because he thought it was cool. But on the other hand, Zoe presents a sleek, futuristic vision. Set in space on the orbital colony circling Jupiter, the world is visually sort of grander, but equally dystopian beneath the surface. The orbital frames, especially Jehuti, sport a polished, almost godlike aesthetic, striking a direct contrast to the visceral nature of the Evas. Speaking of gods, the orbital frames are named after and have a depiction of these Egyptian gods. Hathor or Osiris, Dolores or Isis, Jehuti or Thoth, and Anubis, to name a few. They were designed by Metal Gear Solid alumni Yoji Shinkawa, whose concept art is always final ready to be printed on the jewel case. These design differences reflect the tone of their respective works. Eva is introspective and tragic, while Zoe is dynamic and action-oriented. At the heart of both stories are reluctant young pilots, grappling with their roles in the chaos, war, death, and destruction all around them. This is a trope of many mecha anime, but how do these two differ from each other? Shinji Ikari from Eva is infamous for his vulnerability. Plagued by self-doubt, a need for acceptance from others, especially his father, and the weight of piloting a living weapon. Shinji's journey is deeply personal and psychological. His hesitance and breakdowns mirror the series' focus on existentialism and the human condition. But what is the human condition in existence without its dark side? Conflict, war. It seems to be ingrained in humanity. That's what Zoe tends to lay its sociological groundwork. Leo Senbuk from Zoe starts a reluctant hero but evolves into a more confident pilot as he takes responsibility of Jehuti. Unlike Shinji, Leo finds a clear sense of purpose, leaning into the traditional hero's arc in saving human lives. However, his initial struggles with pacifism versus violence reflects themes found in Eva as well. What is the moral cost of wielding vast destructive power? Both Eva and Zoe explore the personal and collective consequences of war and the cost of responsibility. In Eva, the very act of piloting an Eva is a traumatic experience, blending the pilot's mind and body with a biomechanical weapon. Shinji, Asuka, and Rei all suffer immense psychological damage from their roles, underscoring the idea that victory in war often comes at great personal cost. In Zoe, piloting Jehuti is less of a physical burden, but equally heavy in moral responsibility. The orbital frames are weapons of mass destruction, and Leo frequently wrestles with the implications of wielding such power. Eva emphasizes trauma and existential despair. Zoe offers a more action-driven perspective, balancing responsibility with moments of empowerment and triumph. What happens if an unstoppable force hurts or kills ones you love and will not stop? What then will you do? As stated earlier, Eva is rich in religious symbolism, cross imagery, biblical references, and themes of sin, redemption, and rebirth. This adds an additional layer of depth to its narrative, questioning humanity's place in the universe and our relationship with creation. Did we even mean to exist? Was humanity an accident meant to be culled? Zoe takes a different approach. The ancient Egyptian-inspired design of the orbital frames gives it a mythological feel, Jehuti, Anubis, and others named after those ancient deities, suggesting a connection between advanced technology and humanity's age-old quest for power and divinity, and the balance of the two. In both works, the use of mythological and religious themes elevates the narrative beyond what a traditional sci-fi would be. The emotional tone of Eva is heavy, focusing on despair, trauma, and the fragility of the human psyche. It's introspective, often leaving viewers questioning the very nature of existence and their place in it. This is due to the creator, Hideaki Anno's, personal fight with many of these themes. And for a very detailed look into Anno, if you're interested, please watch Steve M's very detailed 4-hour video on him called The Hideaki Anno Problem. Very, very good video, and he put a lot of time and effort and a whole year's worth of work into it. Link will be down in the description. In contrast to Eva, Zoe balances its emotional depth with moments of triumph and hope. While Leo faces struggles, as any protagonist should in a story, the game offers players a sense of agency and accomplishment. Writers Shuyo Murata and Noriaki Akamura, with the help of KOJIMA, wanted to tell the tale of more of a hero's journey per se, while balancing themes of war and humanity. Of course, this may be due to difference in mediums as well, one being an action game with anime influences, and the other being literally an anime that subverts your expectations about what a mecha anime is and can be. Anno really did wanted to deconstruct the mecha genre, while the Zoe team aimed to expand it with cinematic storytelling and thrilling gameplay. While Neon Genesis Evangelion and Zone of the Enders come from different mediums and narratives, their shared exploration of responsibility, humanity's reliance on technology, and the burden of conflict creates a profound connection. Whether it's Shinji's existential crisis or Leo's struggle to wield power responsibly, both stories remind us that the true battles aren't really fought with weapons or mechs, but fought within ourselves. And that's it from me at Nerddom. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe for more deep thoughts on big franchises. Also, be sure to like the video as it helps us find new friends. Thank you so much, and have a great day.